Hello fellow humans and welcome to this week's shop review. We start off with the most important section, that is the tank section, and we start off with double impact. Well, more like double trash because they both suck. So don't buy any of these two, they're not good. Now the Skoda T50, it was given away for free a while ago, so buying it now would be a pretty bad idea. And these × 5s aren't even free, so yeah, this is a very bad deal. Then these two right here, they're a horrible idea. And the T95 E6 is mid! Then we have a T34 here, which is only going to be here for a very limited time, so I would pick it up. It is a very easy tank to play. It makes a lot of creds. You got 30 days of premium, you got 500,000 creds as well in this 5.5k bundle. This is one of the better bundles you can get in Blitz, especially if you need the premium time. It also makes a lot of creds because this vehicle does have 248mm standard penetration, which means that penning any vehicle isn't really a big problem. So you're not going to need any premium rounds, you're going to do a lot of damage. Now the KPZ4, I mean, it's, if you're a Star Wars fan, I guess. Other than that, no, it's not worth it. Then we go on and ignore the Panzer B2. The Unstoppable Friends are pretty solid, bit overpriced. In my opinion, the Pajero and the Sumo are hard to play. I looked at those a bit more in detail last week, but in general, I mean, they're hard to play and they're not really a great all-round type of vehicle. Then we got these three down here. And with three, I mean one, because only the M4 Yo out of these is even noteworthy given what you have to pay for it, which you shouldn't. And then we also have these two, which are not good either. And in the offer section, the subscription for gold is a pretty good deal, so if you can log in every day, I would definitely recommend it. Then we have the battle pass and the license, which again, if you can fill up each battle pass, it is a great deal and should definitely get it. But obviously, if you can't fill it up, there is no reason to get it. And then, containers. You know what they say. Do not buy. Pretty much the same goes as every week for camouflages. They're overpriced and not worth it. Moving on, the AP AMX30 is now available in crate, which means you should not buy it under any circumstances, obviously, because crates are, as we've already said, bad. However, we're going to have a look at this vehicle later in the video anyway. And in other news, the anime event is still here, so if you are looking to waste a lot of money and to get one of those vehicles with a coupon, then go ahead. This thing costs about 200 euros, which is a laughable joke. It's not funny, but it's a joke. And then if you want to get the high score, which I don't know why you would, but if you want to get that, you can do that for free. And it is pretty worth it, so just if you play enough, you can get that relatively easily. It does take a bit of effort, though. And then we also have this thing right here, which is whatever. So now let's get the trash out of the way and have a look at the statistics of the 59 pattern and the 122 TM. The 59 pattern immediately shows itself to be horrible with only 180mm of standard penetration. The premium is a lot better, but it's a premium tank. It's supposed to make creds. It doesn't. Then you also have no armor on this vehicle, so buying it is a very, very bad idea. Then the 122 TM, I have no idea why it is called a medium tank. It absolutely is not. It's got heavy tank alpha damage, heavy tank accuracy, heavy tank mobility, but it doesn't have heavy tank armor. It seems to have, but it doesn't. So all in all, these two vehicles are tanks to ignore and forget. So let's do that, but let's have a look at, if you want to be masochistic, how you could play something like the 59 pattern. Now this vehicle is like a priest's penis. It's fine unless you have to touch it or look at it. Then it becomes absolutely horrible. That's exactly what this tank is. Now you take a Type 59 hull and smash an M48 pattern turret on top of it with a tier 8 gun. Not the tier 10 one, it's a tier 8 gun. And then you end up with this thing that has 180 penetration on its AP rounds. It does have 268 on its heat though, which is good. But you have a massive cupola on top of this, so you don't got great alpha damage, you don't got great penetration, you don't got great armor, and because of the Type 59 hull, you got some armor on the hull at least, but you pretty much don't really have that great of a gun at 2.4k DPM is perfectly fine. But again, this is a vehicle that, why? It just embodies the why would you get it. If you, let's say, had to get it when you were trying to grind towards a better tier 10, like a 121, it might have made sense, but paying money for a vehicle like this is something that you really shouldn't do at all, because there are significantly better options, like a Defender Mark 1 or a Centurion 5.1 or anything of that sort. Because this vehicle really combines things you don't want into something that can certainly work out quite well, as you will see in this battle. would that necessarily make them not worth purchasing, even though it's quite cheap? But that still doesn't make up for the horrible performance. Now, there is another thing, obviously, that if you happen to have this vehicle, and if you enjoy this vehicle, congratulations, that's great. But the thing is, I try to recommend things on what is most likely to have use to you. And a vehicle like this, it might have use to 1-2% of its buyers. They're going to enjoy it. The rest probably going to play it 2-3 times, then let it rot in the garage, which happens to many tanks, which is sad, because tanks deserve love too. Except the Sheridan missile, it doesn't. Like, that's why you should only buy vehicles that you can take out and that you can feed, because if you can't, they're going to get sad and cry. And this vehicle is better kept in the shelter, far away from people. Now, the problem is, again, it's sold in a bundle with the 122 TM. A vehicle that is equally pointless and dumb. The 122 TM is like, it's a heavy tank that pretends to be a medium tank, but it's neither good at doing heavy tank things because it's a medium tank, but it's also not good at medium tank things because it's a heavy tank. It's like the T95 E6, but in reverse. Which is not great. At least the T95 E6 got some qualities to it that work well, whereas the 122 TM's only quality is make you depressed. But if you happen to want that, then sure, but no. Anyway, now we're gonna see what makes the difference between the player and the tank, and in this case it is only the player. That's an AMX 1390 and a Yak Panther. I'm on 223 hit points. I'm a one-shot for both of them. Now what they should do, or could do ideally here, is the AMX goes around one side and the Yak Panther goes around the other side. I can only shoot one of them, I can't retaliate, that's it for me. Now, the Yak Panther does have a slight problem, as in the ML is over there. He doesn't know that the ML only has one shot though, so he tries to go around this side. Now, he does that, which, again, it's a Type 59 hull. It does have some armor sometimes, which can certainly help. And now I'm just going to back out of here. 1v2, and the MX ain't fast enough. Because the faster you are, the better it'll be. And now, it is a Yak Panther right here. Tiny little Tier 7 tank destroyer against an ML. And a 59 pattern. I track him, he repairs, and the ML's dead. But now, he short, which means I can reload and finish him off, and that's 3k damage just like that. But that's not the tank, that's me. So, if you're a good player, you can carry this thing to quite noticeable heights. And you can farm W and 8 with it as well, as you can see. And now let's have a look at the AMX 30, because this vehicle is, I mean, it's in crates, which means you shouldn't buy it, and which why it's at the end of the video, and I'm not really gonna focus too much on it, because I just don't want to create the illusion of that I'm somehow reviewing this positively, because I'm not going to. It is in crates. It doesn't matter what the stats of this vehicle are. The method of selling immediately disqualifies it from being obtained, in my opinion. So don't buy this vehicle under any circumstances. Now, let's have a look at the stats anyway, because, I mean, that might be useful to some if you face someone that has spent multiple amounts of money on this tank. Now, you don't really have a great DPM at 2,200 if you fully upgrade it, which is, it's fine, but it's not amazing. The penetration at standard is 218, so that is something that it does have going for it. Overall, it's a fine-ish tank. You've got 0.3 accuracy, you got 10 degrees of gun depression, so it is got something there. Mobility is pretty solid for a big vehicle like this, but then again, the armor, it being French, it's not really there for the most part. You can get some bounces here and there, but essentially play it as if you don't have armor. It's sort of on a Pershing-like level where you've got armor in some places, but for the most part you don't. So, in general, it's nothing impressive and nothing that you have to really have, and given that it's obviously in crates and therefore significantly overpriced, there is absolutely no reason to pick it up. Now, it is better than a 59 pattern. Don't think I have to tell you that, because I think that was clear already. But you also got 280 alpha damage, which is above average, which does help out in a certain amount of situations. So, overall, if this thing would be in the shop for, let's say, 7,000-8,000 gold, I can recommend it at that point, if it is in the shop for a decent price. But here's the thing, why would I recommend a vehicle like this when it costs, first of all, an undefined amount of money, because everyone's going to get it at a different price. However, the thing I'm looking at is the average price and the charm price, and that is like 150, 200 euro, which is unacceptable for a game like this. Now we're going to have to look at that, and therefore it is absolutely stupid. Stupid is what crates are. Don't buy them. If you buy them, yeah, I can't help you. So, it is a solid tank. If it's in shop for like 8k, something like that, we can definitely talk about picking it up then. But for this price, it is a absolute and utter joke. Like, for real. Now, what you've got, essentially, is you've got a tank that if you're a good player, and I'm not, as you've probably already seen in this battle where I miss multiple shots, but that doesn't really matter. You can, weirdly enough, side scrape a bit against the tier 7 tank destroyer, so that's at least something. But overall, it is a solid tank, right? There's nothing wrong with the vehicle in itself. It's just the pricing and the presentation is so bad that it immediately disqualifies any qualifying characteristics the tank might have. It does have some. Like, it's solid. This is not a bad tank. But I will have a detailed look at this vehicle once it's available properly in the shop. Now, because here's the thing. You could do so much with 200 euros that is better than this. Like, a lot. Way low. So, yeah, it's gonna... People buy crates. So crates will continue to be sold, and new tanks will be continued to be sold in crates. And I will continue with the same review every single crate tank. The AMX AltProto 30 is fine, but it is in crates, so keep your hands away from it as far as you possibly can. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.